being a Friday, whoever puts up their hand up last will go first. Have a good Friday. All questions. Member for Khalid Managayak, Mr. Lightstone.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Happy Friday to you, and thank you for bringing some laughs to the Assembly, as always. Mr. Speaker, my questions today are for the Minister of Human Resources and regard the issue of perceived preferential treatment of transient Government of Nunavut employees. I'd like to add that after today, I hope to allow the Minister a bit of annual leave before addressing any further human resource issues. Mr. Speaker, I strongly believe in equality and fair treatment. The Government of Nunavut's reliance on transient employees in a number of areas has left our invaluable, full-time, indeterminate employees, such as healthcare professionals and social workers, feeling unappreciated and undervalued. To those frontline workers whom our communities are so dependent upon, I sympathize with you. Mr. Speaker, I'm sure that the decision to hire casuals out of territory on rotation was intended to be a short-term solution. Unfortunately, this has caused unintended consequences, namely disgruntled employees, reduced morale, and most significantly, resignations. While short-term solutions are necessary to address labor shortages here in Nunavut, it is imperative that they be balanced with equal benefits to our permanent local employees. Mr. Speaker, concerns that I've heard from our frontline workers is that benefits received by transient casual employees include items such as free housing, per diems, and fully paid travel for vacation every 4 months. Mr. Speaker, I'd like to ask the Minister if she may confirm what exactly fringe benefits are provided to Government of Nunavut transient employees. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Minister of Human Resources, Ms. Nakashu.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you for asking the question.
In terms of what supports, equal supports we can provide for all GN employees, whether they're transient or indeterminate workers. And we have to keep in mind, depending on the staffing process, the benefits coincide with the type of employment. So we also have to think about, like you mentioned, there's nurses that have short-term stays, might have a different agreement within the department. And we also continue to discuss with our counterparts, department of whichever home department it may be, human resources, and NAU has to take into consideration whether, and also finance, because we have to go through the process of getting all of this approved, not just by one department of HR. It consists of the working relationships of other departments. I just wanted to give an overall understanding of the process that we follow. I don't want to get into the details of it because it could also depend on what the department may offer to their employees.
Thank you. We have a lot of members that do want to ask questions, and I ask that you keep your preamble short and to the point. For supplementary, Mr. Lightstone.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I appreciate the Minister's response. As I previously indicated, one of the priorities for the current fiscal year for the Department of Human Resources is creating the next human resource strategy. So I'd like to ask if the Department of Human Resources has included this issue within their internal discussions on the matter. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Minister of Human Resources, Ms. Nakashu.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you for asking the question.
That we are reviewing right now we will be working with, like I said, different departments, as well as hoping to invite some regular members to be part of the discussions. But when we're talking about other benefits, I'm not sure what information or where you got that information from, because I'm not aware of it. But when we are talking about transient nurses or health professionals coming up, they aren't indeterminate, so they don't get the full benefits like any indeterminate employee. So that has to take into consideration as well. But also I want to mention that we will be talking more about the strategy in the coming weeks.
Second and final supplementary, Mr. Lightstone.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Recently, the government of Nunavut released requests for proposals on a government of Nunavut salary and job classification process review. Mr. Speaker, the objective of the proposed comprehensive salary review includes such issues as including an analysis of where the GN salaries rank relative to other provincial and territorial governments, provide recommendations for the government of Nunavut to identify positions which may require supplements to base salary. Mr. Speaker, in the terms of reference, the review identifies that the current salaries will be compared to other jurisdictions and other organizations within the territory. But it does not indicate whether or not, there's no indication in the terms of reference or the addendums on including an internal review of such fringe benefits provided to transient employees and the impacts that has on our rates of attrition. So I would just like to seek clarification on whether that significant matter will be included in the upcoming comprehensive salary review. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Minister of Human Resources, Ms. Nakashuk.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you for asking the question.
Actually, talking about the salary review right now. And of course, HR is not the only home department working on that. We have to take into consideration about the next NAU collective agreement that we will be working on as well. So those are things we have to keep in mind. But the salary review is being reviewed at this time.
All questions.